Hello everyone, this is a new little version here of my thing that I made. This is about the democracy of Sweden right now, which is not very democratic. And here is why. We have essentially two populations on the piece of one region in Sweden, and that is due to the incompetence of the politicians, maybe a mix of politicians and so on. But this is actually the case of the democracy right now of Sweden, and this is a fact. This is not my opinion. The fact is that there are people who were given passports when they were either born here or arrived here to this country. And this passport was supposed to take people into society, which could grant them a basic human income. So that they could be represented in one of these categories here, either high income, yeah, median earners or low. So they are represented here. But the problem is that there's a large sum of population. I'm pretty tired, that's why this is like that. So there's a large sum of population. They don't have any income, so they are not represented in this thing called society, because they don't earn an income that qualifies for any of the categories. And that is a big problem for the democracy of Sweden, because the democracy of Sweden is founded on the idea that the passport of nation of Sweden is supposed to grant people the access to society so that they can get a basic human income. That means either that they earn an income in one of these two categories, high or median, because they have a job in society, or they get a low income from going to the social welfare office and getting their right to a basic human income. Now, the problem is that the social welfare offices around the municipalities of this region here, they're denying people their right to basic human income. Essentially, they are taking away the citizenship of people, because their passport does not grant them access to society anymore. It doesn't grant them the access to a basic human income anymore, because they're being discriminated upon by the incompetence of social welfare offices. That's illegal. They cannot sit in these social welfare offices and decide who gets to go and who gets to not go into society. That's why the politicians have put it here, to do that, because the politicians and the Swedish nation of Sweden, they cannot simply take away people their citizenship. It's not possible, at least not from birthright. And from when it comes to people who have arrived here, it's also pretty hard. It needs to be done through a court of law. But smart politicians, came up with ideas, and this is nothing new. I'm just young, but we use the incompetence of social workers, and then we deny people access to society and access to a basic human income through the incompetence of social workers and social offices in different municipalities of this region, which essentially creates a problem. The problem is this: there are people who are part of the nation of Sweden. They have passports, they have citizenship, they get into society, they earn an income in one of these three categories. Even if they just get the social welfare money, then they're part of this. They are represented here in the televised version of society, of the nation of Sweden. The politicians include them in the idea of this concept of the nation of Sweden. Then there are the people who are only part of the land and ground of Sweden. And that's not some funny, cool name. It's actually a fact. Like they have no income, and they have to earn their income through, recycling cans or doing criminality. That's why they are criminals, because they have no income, so they have to come up with ways to earn an income. And so that's a big problem. This is a big problem here. This is not a democratic society anymore, because the democratic society would be for the nation of Sweden to grant access to all people with a passport, so that they can get into society, earn a basic human income, if that's through having a job, or just getting a low basic income through the social welfare office, which is a right that cannot be denied, because denying that means that they're taking away people their citizenship, because they're essentially taking away their right to a basic human income through the social welfare offices. And that's done through incompetence. And that's done because that's the only way of taking people away their citizenship. Because citizenship by birthright cannot be taken away, not even through a court of law. and citizenship granted through because someone came here through immigration can only be taken away through a court of law. That's a hassle. So they just do it through the social welfare offices and incompetence instead. Essentially just granting people the income level of no income. So they have to either sit here or become criminals and essentially be locked up. So this is not a democracy anymore. That's just a fact. That's just a sad fact that this is how it is. That's not because I think it's cool that it is this way. I wanted to get in here. I wanted to get the basic human income so that I could work and get into one of these two categories. That wasn't possible. I was denied this, and now I have no income, and I recycle cans. And so, you know, I'm tired of trying to get in here because I can't get in here. So I'm doing this now because I have been applying a lot for jobs and so forth, not getting in there. So this is the current state of this region here. Nation of Sweden, people who get in here and earn a basic human income, which is a right that cannot be taken away under any circumstances. Social welfare officers cannot sit and discriminate upon citizens who gets to go there and not. That's not possible. That's taking away people their citizenship. It's illegal. So this current situation here is illegal. That's a fact. And so this creates a problem, because if you imagine now that one of these people here, that person, has 10 children, then the nation of Sweden mandates by law that those children need to have a Swedish passport, because the nation of Sweden do not want a growing population that are not part of the nation of Sweden, making them only part of the land and the ground of this region here, which makes sense, right? They don't want to have two populations, but they do have two populations. It's just a fact. No income and those with income. It's two populations. That's why criminality exists, because you're denying people access to society, taking away their citizenship, forcing them into the category of no income, and forcing them into coming up with creative ways on how to earn income. And so, let's say that one of these people have 10 kids. Then why the heck should they give their kids passports? Why? Well, because the nation of Sweden don't want them to be like a growing population that are not part of this region, right? Makes sense. But it doesn't make sense for this person to give their kid a passport, which essentially, by high probability, won't grant them access to this society, because some social worker is, they're discriminating upon them. So why should that person give their kid a passport? They shouldn't. There is no reason anymore for that, because this democracy is non-existent now at this point, because politicians have been allowed to run it that way. And so if we take the example of you having a bus card, there's the bus, and you go to the bus and you can't get into the bus because your bus card stopped working. Something happened to the bus card. The bus driver will say, it doesn't work, you can't go with the bus. And then you say, okay, well, but I just bought it yesterday. And he will say, yeah, go to the bus company. And the bus company will give you a new plastic card that is now a bus card, because it now works. And that's what should be happening with the passport issue, not granting people access to society and access to a basic human income, because that's what it is essentially. Not right now. It's not that we're scanning our passports, but in the future that might be the case, and then some passports will just shine red, right? And so that should be as easy as just the government just fixing the cards so that they gain access to this place, so that people get their basic human income, which is a right, societal right that cannot be taken away, because essentially it is the same as taking away people their citizenship. That's what's happening here. They're taking away citizenships, but they're doing it through the manipulative means of just denying people their access to basic human income, essentially denying them access to this category, essentially denying them access to society, essentially taking away their citizenship. So that's that, because they're only part of the land and ground now of Sweden, including myself, because I don't earn an income, and I will have to sit here then. Which means, you see, it's obviously, what part is this person? Are they part of this? No. Are they part of the nation of Sweden? Yeah, they have a passport, but They don't get any rights of the passport, right? And so why should I give my hypothetical kids passports? Why should I make them part of a nation that discriminates upon them? Now that's only in the interest of the nation of Sweden here, so that they can have said control over those kids. But if they're not giving those people the rights that come with that passport, then there is no longer any motivation as to why anyone should consider themselves part of the nation of Sweden and abide by the idea of the nation of Sweden when they're not allowed access to this place or allowed their right to a basic human income, earning them a position in one of these three categories which are represented in the society, the televised version of this democracy that is at this point starting to crumble, because it's not a democracy anymore when you start looking at it this way. Because if it was a democracy, then the social welfare officers wouldn't be able to discriminate upon citizens and taking away their right to a basic human income and putting them down in this category where they are forced to either just sit and beg for money or come up with clever ideas on how to earn an income, which essentially will mark them as criminals, homeless, insane, or addicts. So this is undemocratic, and it's obvious that it's undemocratic, and it's illegal, and that's also obvious. So I just wanted to say all of this. I wanted to try to make a new little version of this video, which I thought maybe was better. And so why do I keep repeating this? Well, because I've tried very hard now at getting in here, and I still have a job, but it doesn't qualify me for this, even the low income earning, and I am being denied my access to a basic human income through the social welfare offices. So I have a job, but it does not grant me the membership of the nation of Sweden, because I'm not represented in the political idea of this place, because my salary does not reach up to this level here. And so I'm not represented in this idea. I don't exist here. And that's why I'm making these videos, because now I'm at the point where I don't have energy anymore to try to get into this place. I have really worked hard on that. So now I'm just putting this out there. I've realized what this is. And that ignorance is not like whatever. But this is the case. This is, I mean, anyone who has any interest in politics should see that this is a very big problem, and should see that it's a very easy fix. Like, the fix is just allow people their basic human income so that they don't have to sit here anymore, and so that they can start qualifying for I mean, they will have this category if they get their basic human income, but so that they can start qualifying for a high or high income, and get to be part of this idea of the nation of Sweden. Because I believe in this idea of the nation of Sweden. I don't do this because it's fun or cool or anything. I just do this because this is a problem, and this problem needs to be addressed. Can't just ignore it and just pretend like it doesn't exist, and because that's it's in the long term it's not possible. This is the reality. We need to assess this reality. Because it's easy fixes. Allow people access to a basic human income. Get rid of this problem here, of people have no income. Well, it's too expensive to have everyone get a basic human income. No, not really. It's not too expensive, because they're going to start qualifying later on for getting in here. Right now they're putting all their efforts in trying to get in here from here. And so that's why they cannot become working parts of society, because all their efforts are trying to just get in here and being denied. And so no wonder that we have this issue. Because there is essentially a wall here, an illegal wall, in a metaphorical way, that is denying people the access to getting into this. And it's not legal. It's illegal. It's illegal. It's totally illegal. And the motivations for it are discrimination. Whether you want to see it as an intelligence-based discrimination upon IQ or whatever, it doesn't really matter what the terms of your discrimination here in the social welfare offices are. If you want to call people crazy or that they're addicts, if that was the case, then that should be used as terms for giving them their basic human income so that they can get help, not the other way around. You can't deny them their access to this place on those. It just doesn't add up. So that's that. This is I tried to make a little new version of this that wasn't so joking or whatever. That was a bit more serious. So this is that. Hope you have a good day.